What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another Turbo update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and hop straight into Turbo, and you can see that Turbo is currently trading at a perfect $400 million market cap. And if you look at Turbo from a technical analysis standpoint, we are just consolidating right now. And I know a lot of people are kind of disappointed that Turbo hasn't been pumping over the last 2 or 3 days, but you have to understand that it pumped very hard over the last couple weeks. You can see that from the lows, Turbo pumped up 388%. That is significantly outperforming most of the market. And what's very impressive is Turbo is not exactly a small project. A 388% pump is outperforming a lot of mid-cap meme coins that are around that 20 million range. So I can tell you that I am personally very impressed with Turbo. Now from a technical analysis standpoint though, you could argue that Turbo is either forming some sort of a bull flag or a rising wedge. Now in general, a rising wedge is usually not a super bullish pattern. However, the market in general is extremely bullish right now. So if we see Ethereum continue to rip, then don't be shocked at all if this does break to the upside. I just want to show you guys Ethereum on the weekly time frame and understand the weekly candle does actually close today. This could end up being Ethereum's largest green candle ever. But right now, Ethereum is basically trading on the 200 weekly moving average and the 21 weekly moving average. These are very important levels for us to reclaim. Now, I will say regardless, this candle is very bullish anyways. But if this can be a very strong close for Ethereum and then the next weekly candle also closes very strong, then that's going to be an excellent look for ETH. I really do think the next candle is going to be very important. When we look at Bitcoin right now, you can see that Bitcoin is actually very close to retesting all-time highs. This is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and you can just see we've had a massive explosion. And in general, I do just want to point out the weekly time frame for Bitcoin and why I was so bullish to begin with. A lot of people were saying that Bitcoin was bearish, but this is why it's important to understand technical analysis. We had a textbook support and resistance flip. Previous resistance now becomes support. We came down and basically retested the previous high. And now we're having a massive explosion out of this. And what's very bullish about Bitcoin is if you look at the M2 global liquidity. So when you look at the M2 global liquidity, you can see that the M2 global liquidity has been breaking out since January. And if you look back through Bitcoin's history, the M2 global liquidity usually front runs breakouts. Global liquidity starts breaking out, Bitcoin breaks out afterwards. Global liquidity breaking out, Bitcoin breaks out afterwards. Global liquidity breaking out, Bitcoin breaks out afterwards. And again, we've been exploding since January. So in my eyes, there was a very good chance that Bitcoin was going to break out. And I won't be shocked at all if we do end up seeing new all-time highs. Now, is it possible that Bitcoin all of a sudden has a hard rejection? Absolutely. Anything can happen. But right now, we are showing a lot of strength. And naturally, the more strength that Bitcoin and Ethereum show, the better that Turbo is going to do. Now, if you look at CoinMarketCap, what I want to point out is that you can see Bitcoin is actually up 9% in the last week. If you look at Ethereum, it's up 35.7% in the last week. This is exactly what we want to see if we want to see an altcoin season. And if you come up here, you can see that Bitcoin dominance is dropping. It's down to 62.3%. It did actually reach over 66%. So for altcoins, this is awesome to see. The reality is that Ethereum is the leading altcoin. We want to see an Ethereum explosion. We want to see it outperforming Bitcoin. Now, if we look at the meme coin market, you can see that a lot of meme coins have had very strong bounces over the last week. And naturally, that is going to happen because Ethereum is breaking out. You look at Pepe, it's up 60% in the last week. But if you come down here, you can see that Turbo is currently the 145th largest crypto. And it is only up 7% in the last week. But again, over the last couple weeks, it's up almost 400%. And if you look at Turbo's volume, it still has better volume than a lot of projects above it. It has higher volume than MOG. It has higher volume than ApeCoin, higher volume than SPX, higher volume than Bread on Base. And a project like Bread on Base is a top 100 cryptocurrency. So in general, Turbo is performing extremely well. Do not think for a second because Turbo's not exploding right now that it's not doing well. It front ran a lot of other coins. Now, what might be even more impressive about Turbo is when you look at their X account. They're up to 111,000 followers, but there hasn't really been any major news. This is why I've been so impressed with Turbo recently. The Turbo explosion is just a prime example of how strong this project actually is and how strong the community is. And that's the reality with meme coins. A strong community is always going to win. It's not like there has been a major catalyst for Turbo that caused an explosion. It's just simply an incredibly strong project. But yeah, honestly, there's not a whole lot for me to say about Turbo right now. Again, it looks very strong. But yeah, if you guys are interested in Turbo and joining a like-minded community, then I also recommend taking a link on my Discord. We've been making huge gains in here this entire bull run. Just over the last 2 weeks, we've nailed 2 more 100x projects. So these were the initial 6 projects that did over a 200x. We nailed Sato that did a 102x, and then we nailed Rato that did over a 300x. It was called in my Discord by my boy Tennis at an 80k market cap, and it's currently 28 million. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. We're just getting started. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how high do you guys think Turbo will go this bull run. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.